She heard some kind of weird noise outside. What is that? What is that? But what even is out there? Really? Really? Oh, really? You think so? What do you have to say to the camera about that? Okay, that's enough Sierra for 1 minute. Boo Boo, my oldest dog. Oh, here comes Sammy. He wants to be on the video now. Hi, Sammy. How are you doing? Look, he's gotten huge, and he's gotten silver mane. He's all black, except for his silver mane. He's kind of a strange kitty, but I sure like my Sammy. What are you doing, Sammy? So, anyways, enough about the cats. Let me get to the point of this video. For starters, if he'll move his big puffy tail from out in front of the camera. For starters, I can make these kind of videos again at night. You guys who've been watching for a long time know I used to do a lot of videos inside just talking to my front-facing camera. But then I got the LG V20 because I wanted the wide-angle camera in addition to the regular camera on the front. And the LG V20 had a horrible front-facing camera at night, in low-light conditions anyway. And I hoped that would be fixed when I upgraded to the LG V30, but nope, it wasn't. Finally, just now, with the LG V40, not only did they also add a zoom camera in addition to the wide angle and the regular main cameras, but they now have two front-facing cameras built into the selfie front-facing camera, and they actually work pretty good inside in low-light conditions. Now, to improve those low-light conditions, I stumbled into something else that I think is great. Hopefully some of you guys can use this. What I'm illuminating this with right now, if I didn't have this, it would look like this. Now, normally I would take one of my many flashlights and turn it on and kind of try to aim it at myself to improve it, but that's such a pain in the butt, and it's never right. It's never a nice even light everywhere. I went to Harbor Freight a while back and I bought this just to have for emergencies, or to reach in the middle of the night when I need to turn a light on real quick so I don't have to reach all the way up to the ceiling to my main light. And it's $4.99, $5.99, something like that. It has a dimmer switch on it, so you can adjust just how bright you want it to be, and it gets pretty darn bright. It also has Velcro and magnets on the back, so you can stick it up anywhere, and I like to keep it right. Sorry, I keep touching my nose. I feel like it's running. I guess I have a bit of a cold, or it's just the cold air is getting to me or something. Yes, I know it's Southern California cold. Most of you don't even consider that cold, but if you're not used to it, it's cold. It's going to get down to 33 tonight, so it's almost freezing. I love that little light, though. It takes 3 AA's, and it's great for illuminating inside when I want to film inside. Sierra, what are you licking? You're so weird. So, Boo Boo, my oldest dog, turns 19 this winter. He's half German Shorthair Pointer, half Dalmatian. Both of those breeds typically live to be 14 to 16, in some cases 18. If he was just one of those breeds, I would be submitting him for some sort of record, but he's a mixed breed. It's still pretty impressive that he's lived this long. He's had quite a few problems lately, but he's not suffering, so I'm not going to have him put down. He's still happy. He has a lot of trouble walking, and he needs a lot of help. And he pees all the time, and it's really bad. So for a while, I kind of thought he was going to die about 2 years ago. And he didn't. So at first I was kind of slowing all my trips down and just planning everything around him. And after about a year of thinking he was going to die and he didn't, I finally said, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I've got to get out there and do my trips. And it was actually better for him too than just sitting around one place and just, waiting for him to die. So we went out and I did my summer trip, and then I came back thinking he's going to pass this winter. And no, he's not. In fact, after putting him on a new medication, he's doing better than he was before, which kind of scares me because now that he's getting up walking more, I have to worry that he's going to fall down and hurt himself. And that kind of sucks. If you wonder what I keep looking at, my cat's trying to eat a string over here, and I don't want him to do that. But of course, because I'm on the phone, he knows it's the perfect time to do things that he's not supposed to do. So I don't know how much longer Boo Boo's going to live, but I'm not going to let that stop me from doing what I want to do. And the first thing I want to do is this year, for the first time ever, I'm going to go down to Arizona for the RTR. I'm not sure if I'm going to actually stay at the RTR or on one of the nearby gold claims that belong to the club that I'm a member of, or maybe the 14-day area, or maybe if there's a YouTuber camp and I'm invited, maybe I'm too crazy to be invited. If not, I'll go to the YouTuber camp. I might also rent a space at a park in town. And I'm now working with a company who is thinking about renting a tent at the big RV show if it's not too late. And I may also have to stick close to that to help out with that. So I'm not really sure about anything. The only thing I know for sure is that I'm going to Quartzsite this year, unless I like die or break down on the way or something. I've also got to have a surgery. I'm not a big fan of surgeries. They've wanted to do a surgery on my knee for many years, and I won't let them. Normally, I wouldn't let them with anything else either, but if I don't have this surgery, there's a fairly good chance that I can go paralyzed. Yeah. For years, I've got this pinched nerve. It goes from my neck, down my shoulder, down my arm, and into my fingers. That's why this finger moves. It does that all on its own. It's just from the pinched nerve. What's happening is the disc between the vertebrae in my neck on 2 levels is pushing into the spinal canal. The spinal canal is a little tube, kind of like that, even length all the way through. And your nerves run through this. Your nerves run through this little canal. On mine, the disc is bulging out. Yes, the cat fell off earlier and tried to land on my head, and I had to bat her away, and she scratched the hell out of my arm. Anna, the other cat. This disc is pushing up against my spinal column, my nerve canal, and the nerve canal should be nice and, that thick all the way across, but in that one section, it's collapsed halfway, so it's only that thick. And it causes some pain. At one point in my life, it caused the worst pain I've ever had. I would lay there at night and think about strapping myself into my Volkswagen camper van and tying my arm, duct taping my arm to a light pole and just driving away because it hurt that bad. I wanted to just take my arm off. A chiropractor helped me out with that, and with just one visit to him and a machine, an exercise thing that I took home and used that was supposed to align my spine, it relieved that pain enough that I've been able to deal with it for the last 10 years. But after having my doctor order an MRI, because I was still having a little bit of pain, not to that severe level, but enough that it was bothering me, they had the MRI, and that's when they figured out that this is pushing on my nerve canal. The problem with that is if I'm bumped or in some sort of a big accident, I can go paralyzed. Even if I fall down the wrong way. It's already halfway collapsed it, so just a little more. And there's nothing they can do to reverse it once that happens. So I have got second opinions. I've checked with the chiropractor again, my doctor, a different neurosurgeon, and they all say the same thing. You probably don't have to have the surgery right now, but be careful. Don't be doing anything crazy, no extreme sports or gymnastics or wrestling or anything. And, which of course I'm not going to do any of that anyway. And that I will have to have the surgery though, if I don't want these pains to get worse. And if I want to eliminate the chance of being paralyzed if I'm bumped the wrong way. So I'm going to have the surgery done, but I've decided I'm not going to do it until after my old dog Boo Boo passes. He needs too much help, and I'm going to be in a neck brace for 6 weeks at least, unable to move my neck or drive or lift anything over 10 or 20 pounds. And then it's going to take a full 6 months to recover. And so I'm going to need a little help myself, and I have places I can go, family and friends who've already offered to let me stay there and help me out. So I'm not worried about that. I am worried about the whole recovery process, pain-wise and everything. But I'm going to have to do it after Boo Boo passes, because there's no way I can deal with that recovery and helping him at the same time. So in the meantime, I'm just going to carry on, try to forget about it, and I'll have another MRI done right before I go in and have it done, because the chiropractor told me sometimes these little spurs can absorb themselves. Who knows? Maybe in 6 months or less I won't have to have it done, but they all agree I'm going to probably have to have it done. It scares the hell out of me, but they're going to take and pin both my elbows behind my back. I guess this way, or maybe that way. Somehow they pin your elbows behind your back and tie them together. And then they stretch your neck as far back that way as they can, so they can get in here and make an incision about yay big. And then they're going to grab my vocal cords and my breathing tube and everything else and shove it to the side. And then go in there and dig out the disc on both levels. And then they're going to replace it with a piece of bone that they're either going to take from my hip, which I hear hurts worse than the neck surgery, or from a dead person, which I'm not very thrilled about, or possibly, this is the least used option, but it's the one I like the most, they're going to use some sort of a artificial material with chips of bone from my spine. That doesn't really sound good either, does it? And they put that in there, and it helps the bone growth so that it all fuses together. And then to hold it all in so that it doesn't pop out, they finally cover it with a titanium plate and screws into my vertebrae. And the people who've had it done say because of the awkward position where they have you for like 2 hours, afterwards you have muscle spasms for anywhere from a couple weeks to a year or more. And supposedly the muscle spasms are pretty bad. So I know they'll give me painkillers and muscle relaxers, but I'm not looking forward to this at all. If I should die in the next couple of years, freak accident or a heart attack or something, don't feel too bad for me, because it means that I died before I had to go through this surgery, so I got to be cheated out of the operating table. I don't know, is that horrible to say? I don't want to die, but I don't want to have a surgery either, and I really don't want to be paralyzed. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go down to Quartzsite for now and try to have fun and try to see Boo Boo to his end, and then deal with life. Sometimes you just got to do that, I guess. Do whatever you want. Don't let anybody tell you you can't, unless it's a neurosurgeon. Yeah.